The Trump administration's now getting sued over free speech and censorship, with Stanford University's student newspaper, the Stanford Daily, saying in their lawsuit that several of the newspaper's writers have been forced to self-censor or quit the paper out of fear that the government would retaliate for what it publishes, claiming that it's received a number of requests from lawfully present non-citizens to have their names, quotes, or photos removed from articles, that many international students have stopped speaking to the paper's journalists altogether. And notably, this new lawsuit is somewhat similar to a case that just went to trial in Boston last month. And there you had people including the American Association of University Professors suing the Trump administration over what they called its ideological deportation policy, a policy that's led to several students fleeing the country or going into hiding to avoid arrest, with several students and academics testifying about how they'd scrubbed their social media profiles, censored their speech, and turned down opportunities out of fear. We even had members of the Trump administration testifying, including a Homeland Security agent belonging to the unit normally tasked with tackling drug, financial, and other crimes, with him explaining how he was told by the State Department to prioritize the arrest of Rumeysa Oztur, a Tufts University student from Turkey with no criminal record who once wrote an op-ed critical of Israel. And he said that he was explicitly told not to inform her that her visa had been revoked. But I'll add, while a ruling there is expected this month, the Stanford case is also a little bit different. It goes further than others that have targeted the student arrests. We're taking aim at the constitutionality of the underlying legal argument that the Trump administration has relied on to arrest and try to deport foreign students. It revolves around two key provisions in the Immigration and Nationality Act. The first allows the Secretary of State to deport non-citizens if the Secretary personally determines that the alien's admission would compromise a compelling United States foreign policy interest. And the second gives the Secretary the power to revoke a visa or documentation at his or her discretion. The lawsuit says that invoking the power in response to speech is a clear violation of the First Amendment, with the complaint saying Marco Rubio and the Trump administration are trying to turn the inalienable human right of free speech into a privilege contingent upon the whims of a federal bureaucrat, triggering deportation proceedings against non-citizens residing lawfully in this country for their protected political speech regarding American and Israeli foreign policy. But as far as the government's response, you had a spokesperson for DHS calling the lawsuit baseless, saying there is no room in the United States for the rest of the world's terrorist sympathizers, and we are under no obligation to admit them or let them stay here.